Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we uncover the not-so-hidden secrets of the corporate world. And today we have a filing that sounds like a simple update, but might have some interesting contractual shakeups for a popular biotech company. We are diving into a Form 8K from Grace Therapeutics Incorporated. This report details some significant amendments to employment agreements with key executives. We will break down what these changes mean for the company and its leaders. And before we jump in, if you love getting your hands on the real story behind corporate filings, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We also have a fantastic and growing Discord community linked in the description below. So what exactly is going on with Grace Therapeutics Incorporated, also known by its ticker symbol GRACI, traded on the Nasdaq? Well, today we are looking at a current report filed on the 10th of January 2026. This filing is all about updating employment agreements for some of their top brass. Think of it as a contract refresher for the people running the show. The core of this report is in item 5.02, which covers departure of directors, certain officers, election of directors, appointment of certain officers, and compensatory arrangements of certain officers. In plain English, it is about who is running the company and how they are compensated, especially when things change. On the 10th of January 2026, Grace Therapeutics entered into several amendments to existing letter agreements with their executives. We have an amendment for the Chief Executive Officer, Prashant Kohli. There are also amendments for Robert J. Delavasano, the Principal Financial Officer, and Vice President Finance Amresh Kumar, the Vice President Program Management Carrie Dandra, the Vice President Clinical Operations, and Alok McDonald, the Chief Medical Officer. These are essentially updates to their employment contracts. The original agreements have been around for a while, starting in August 2024, with some initial amendments in November 2025. These new amendments, dated the 10th of January 2026, seem to be tweaking the terms of their employment. What's really important to understand here is that these changes are specifically about severance terms. Severance is that compensation you get if you are let go from your job. So these amendments are adjusting how much notice pay or benefits executives might receive under certain circumstances. Let us break down what this means. For most of these executives, if the company decides to terminate their employment without what they call cause, which basically means without a valid reason tied to their performance or misconduct, they are entitled to certain payments. This includes any salary or expenses owed to them. On top of that, they get a continuation of their base salary for 6 months and their Cobra health insurance premiums covered for the same period. However, there is a twist for the CEO, Mr. Kohli. He gets a full 12 months of salary continuation and Cobra coverage in this situation. Any stock awards that have not yet vested, meaning fully earned, might be forfeited if termination is without cause and there is no change in control of the company. Now, things get even more interesting if there is a change in control of the company. This means if the company is bought or merges with another company, if an executive is terminated without cause, or if they resign for what is defined as good reason, which is usually tied to significant negative changes in their role or compensation within 12 months after a change in control, then the severance package becomes much more generous. They will receive their accrued obligations, their base salary plus their target bonus and their Cobra premiums for 6 months. But again, for the CEO, Mr. Kohli, the timeline jumps to 18 months for both salary bonus continuation and Cobra coverage. And here is a big one: unvested stock awards. If a change in control happens and the executive is terminated without cause or resigns for good reason, these unvested equity awards suddenly become fully vested. This means they could potentially cash in on stock options or shares that they had not yet fully earned. This structure incentivizes executives to stay on board during potentially uncertain times, especially when a sale or merger is on the horizon. The filing also lists the exhibits, which are the actual amendment documents themselves. These documents are filed as exhibits 10.1 through 10.5. We also see the standard interactive data file for the cover page. These amendments highlight key executive contracts. We see amendment number 2 for the CEO Prashant Kohli, reflecting the new terms. Then there are amendment number 1 documents for Robert J. Delavasano, Amresh Kumar, Carrie Dandra, and Alok McDonald. This implies that there was already a first amendment in November 2025, and these new January 2026 documents are further adjustments. It is common for companies to refine executive contracts, especially as they grow or face different market conditions. The report is signed by Prashant Kohli, the Chief Executive Officer, on the 12th of January 2026, indicating the company has officially acknowledged and filed these changes. So, what is the story here? Grace Therapeutics is essentially strengthening its executive severance packages. This can be seen as a move to secure loyalty and ensure smooth transitions during potentially turbulent times like a merger or acquisition. By offering robust severance and accelerated vesting of equity awards, the company is providing significant financial security to its top leaders. This can help retain talent and keep executives focused on the company's long-term success, even when their own future employment is uncertain. From a Warren Buffett perspective, you look at these kinds of arrangements to understand the alignment of incentives. Here, the incentives are heavily weighted towards protecting the executives. This is not necessarily bad. In the biotech sector, especially with companies like Grace Therapeutics developing potentially groundbreaking therapies, retaining top talent is paramount. The risk of losing a skilled executive with deep knowledge of complex drug development can be a major blow. So increasing severance and accelerating equity vesting can be a strategic investment to keep those key people in place. It's like ensuring your star players are well compensated and feel secure, so they don't look elsewhere when the big game is on. However, it also means that if the company does face a significant downturn or a change in control the cost to the company, in terms of payouts, the executives could be substantial. Looking at the bigger picture, Grace Therapeutics is making a clear statement with these amendments. They are prioritizing their executive leadership and preparing for various eventualities. While the financial details of these severance packages are not fully laid out in terms of dollar amounts within this specific 8K summary, the underlying principle is very clear: they are creating a safety net. This could be interpreted in a few ways. It could signal confidence in their current trajectory and a desire to lock in their leadership team. Or it could suggest they are anticipating potential future disruptions or a strategic transaction and want to ensure their key personnel are properly incentivized and protected. In conclusion, Grace Therapeutics has updated its executive employment agreements, focusing heavily on severance protections and equity vesting accelerations in specific scenarios. This strategy aims to retain talent and provide security to its top leaders, which is critical in a competitive and fast-paced industry like biotechnology. The key takeaway for investors is to understand that the company is actively managing its executive compensation and its potential liabilities in the event of changes to its leadership or corporate structure. Alright, that is our breakdown of Grace Therapeutics Incorporated's latest filing. What is your take on these executive amendment details, and what do you think they signal for the company's future? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this deep dive valuable, do not forget to hit that like button. It really helps us out, and subscribe for more straight shooting corporate analysis. And as always, check out our Discord channel linked in the description for more discussions and insights. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.